yourself a lot of money and a lot of heartache. So, my name's Des Dane. I run a social enterprise business. I set it up in 2011. It was a completely organic business. I'd been a sales director with a previous outfit, that was in Southampton, and I was with them for about 9 years. I had a business before that, and that business experienced something called over-trading. And that's where I was focused on sell, 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 and the business will do well. And it did. You know, it grew within a couple of years, 2.5 years. You know, I was shy of nearly £500,000 turnover. But you know what? I didn't focus on the other important areas of the business. And the question was asked earlier on about finances. That side of the business, that's crucial. I'm terrible at it. That's why I have an accountant and a bookkeeper who manage that side of the business. You know, I know where my strengths lie. So, my business, I was very fortunate. I went through a lot of stress at that stage because I had suppliers banging at the door needing money. We talked about the cash in the business. You know, and if you didn't have it there, they prepared to stop your trade straight away. And you couldn't facilitate any growth, you couldn't facilitate any customer orders or anything like that. It was an incredibly stressful moment for me. But I've also experienced that in life in general. Yeah, I've gone through a divorce. Yeah, you've had children, you move on. Children are a good thing, but believe you me, it's a bloody stressful thing as well. You know, I've got 4 kids. I've got a 27-year-old, I've got an 18-year-old, I've got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. Yeah, they bring all their challenges. But the other thing you've got to be prepared is like, am I ready up here to take all of this on board? Yeah. And there's ways, my disclaimer, I am not a qualified person to advise on this, so please don't go away and take, this is just from my own personal experience. What button have I got pressed to move on? I've done a couple of lectures here recently. The tendency, I often waffle. And I know I had a slide presentation of about 17 slides, and I think I only went through 1 or 2. I just talked about the rest because I forgot everything else and I just went off on one. So I'll try not to do that today, and you'll have to prompt me. All right. How long have we got left now, just out of interest? How long? 4 minutes, did you say? No. Oh, right. Oh, 4 minutes. I've been talking that long already. Yeah, founder of a social enterprise back in 2011. I set that up. When I left the other outfit, I wanted to set up a business that had more value to what I was trying to deliver. It wasn't just about selling pens, selling paper, making banners, creating branded gifts. Yeah, there was a bigger picture to it, and that meant a lot to me. And I wanted to be seen to be giving something back, and that was personal to me. Not to everyone else, it was something I personally believed in, and it's something I personally had a great deal of passion for to deliver. I've been very fortunate to coach the national taekwondo team, and believe you me, that has given me a whole lifetime of experiences of dealing with young kids, not necessarily in the national team, but certainly the adults, yeah? From their pre-competition nerves, yeah? Post-competition. And I've also been on the front end. I've been representing Great Britain in Europeans, internationals, nationals, World Championship stage. I was very close to the Olympics one day, and I think I might have reflected that on one story to you guys. That's all to a good friend of mine who kicked me in the leg and knackered me for about 6 months, but I don't hold any grudges with that one. A father, and one of my big passions, I love playing drums. I play drums for a local rock band. And so I'm subject to, and I'm sure we all are, every walk of life that we're involved with, you know, we're going to experience some stress at some degree or the other. And that could be stress right up there, it could be just down here, but it's how do we cope with it? And often, that will dictate the next step we're going to be making. Can you all look at the cards? Just let me know how long I've got left. I'm looking forward to seeing the cards. I keep seeing you sat there going, and go, oh no. See, this is stressful, isn't it? Oh, crime, oh, is it half time? Half time. Right, what is mental toughness? What it's not, yeah, I've got it here. being physically or mentally hard, conveying that, oh, I'm tough, oh, I can hit this, no problem at all, I can see this through. Yeah? Being stubborn, it's not all that. Yeah. Leather-skinned bosses. I'm not that one, Michelle, am I? Where's Michelle gone? No, I don't believe in her. With nerves of steel. Yeah, I like to think I've got quite, some nerves of steel. I'd like to think I can do a bungee jump. I've done a bungee jump, I've done a few of those. I love my motorbike when I get that back. I love the competition arena. And that sort of, it gets the old butterflies in the stomach going for me, and I enjoy that. And I think sometimes I like to excel at it. But that doesn't necessarily apply to everyone else in the industry. So in general, all those sort of things I've said, you could just come across being an absolute total ass, if you're going to do things like that. Oh, by the way, if you've got Facebook, social media, or Twitter, Michelle, I'm saying this for you because I know you give me grief after it. You say, you should shout to things about it. Please jump on Facebook, which is Supply Shack, or Twitter, which is Supply Shack. That's right, isn't it? Got that right?
Yeah.
Don't video me.
That's right.
Right, okay. Mental toughness. It's a collection of attributes that allow the person to persevere through very difficult moments. That probably sums up. Yeah? So we can have this vision, we say, oh, we've got some great values, I've got a great vision for this business. But then it's starting to get things right up here of how are we going to cope with sometimes the worst periods of stress, pressure. Pressure can come from all sorts of angles. Yeah, I've just got some samples up here. Training for me was always one. When I was being coached, it was always very much, right, we have to be on point. Your training regime is going to be this. We're going to go to the European, national, world championships. We had a governing body that expected results from their national squad. And I had a strict program that I had to adhere to. But I sort of enjoyed it. I knew there was pressure, but I thought, well, okay, I'll cope with it. But how do I cope with it? Competition, same. Work, something. We're all faced with, whether you're in a high-profile position in the company, not necessarily the owner or the managing director of a business, but you might be in a senior position which involves a tremendous amount of stress. I was talking earlier on, someone in with NATS, isn't it? The air traffic control. One little mistake on that one, imagine that pressure. Yeah? I wouldn't want to be sort of accountable for pressing the wrong button or sending someone in the wrong direction for something to go wrong there, but people do. Yeah? And people have to be educated in a process of how can they cope and deal with that stress, that pressure. Lifestyle. And whether you're going home to your darling wife or your darling husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, going home to your kids, going home to your dog, going home to your cat, going home to bills to open up. We're immersed in pressure every single day. How long have I got there? I'm just trying to tell, because I forgot how many slides I've got up, so I'm just trying. 7 minutes. I should have left that navigator thing down the side. I could have said, oh, I've got 5 slides, right, I know what to do. 2 faces of pressure. Yeah? Got a sad one and a happy one. Now, this one on the left, even today, I'm sat here and I know what's going through my mind. I know some of the exercises that help relax me. But that's to me personally. It might not work for anyone else. But this can exhilarate and energize people. That gets them going, puts a bit of fire in the belly. Fight or flight, that sort of thing that kicks in. Yeah? It's something that really pushes the button to get you going. Sometimes I sit in there, but believe me, I'm sat down there, I'm thinking, right, I'll have a sip of my water, my hand's a little bit shaky, I've got butterflies in my belly, but I'm going to cope with it. I'll try deep breath, try to relax, think of some positive things. What can I pull in that I've done good recently? And I try to think of that and visualise that. That helps me, and that takes me along. The other person, crikey, you can see the expression on their face. They get into an environment which is stressful. Yeah? The pressure's there, and then all of a sudden they shut down. They don't want to know. Now, I'll tell you a little story if you don't mind. How long have I left again? That's it. Right? When I was coaching at the Southern National Championships, one of my students, Jay, and he'd been training with me for a couple of years, so he's just recently gone onto the circuit competing, fighting taekwondo. And it's a full contact sport. It's WTF sport, if anyone knows that. It's not WTF, it's World Taekwondo Federation, nothing else. The arena to him was fairly new. He's done a lot of sort of novice type competitions, dipping his toe in it, getting on. So anyway, we go to this event, I'm coaching him on the day, and I know the player he's fighting. So I say, Jay, right, and I know the player because I've fought the other player before. So I know his standard, I know his weaknesses, I know his strengths. So I went over to Jay and I said, Jay, listen, I know who you're up against. Yeah? He's a good fighter, and he's going to come at you with everything you need. Now I need you to help yourself here, because if you put your defences down, he'll hit you. Yeah? And if he hits you and hits you hard, he can knock you flat on your backside. And because it's a full contact sport, I accept that. I think I said the other day to someone that, I accepted the fact that if I went to compete, I accepted the fact that I might get knocked out. I accepted the inevitable sometimes. I thought, well, I might get a bust nose. I might get knocked out. If I get knocked out, I won't feel a thing. I'll be woken up by some paramedics later. But, so what? I won't let that detract from what my focus is. And my focus was whooping someone's backside. It's not like that. Has anyone ever seen taekwondo? No? Yeah? They're all the way up there. Can you hear me, Stuart? No. Stuart and Gary at the top, they run a great ethical company. They didn't want to get up and talk today. They run a company called 1948, and they source ethical gems. Yeah? Great. Really? Oh my gosh, right. Where was it? I forget where I was now. Anyway, I said to Jay, listen, he's going to come at you with everything. You have to go at him as fast as you can. And then I went up to this other player. I said, I understand you're fighting one of my students. He said, yeah, that's it. I said, you know what? I said, we've just come back from Denmark, and he's won the tight leg there, and we rode in Asia, a few months ago, and he won the Bournemouth University championships out there. So all of a sudden, I planted this seed in this other guy's head, thinking, holy crap, this guy's going to be good. Yeah? Anyway, lo and behold, they come out, they bow, they get there, they're in the arena, and I said, Jay, whatever you do, as soon as the referee goes, she's out. I can speak a little bit of Korean, by the way. She's out. Right? And Jay just went at him, hell for leather. And and he absolutely annihilated this other player. Why? Because Jay was able to develop some mental strength there. Whereas the other player, because I planted that seed, that must say 7 minutes, surely, doesn't it? He conceded. He showed defeat straight away because he already gave up on the fact that this other guy was going to come at him. And Jay got the time. He won that match. So really pleased. So we say the negative side of pressure, this is the bit we call stress. Yeah? It's a horrible thing. Very debilitating. Gets your tummy all funny. Makes you do bad toilet things and everything else, which is awful. Michael Johnson. Anyone know? Is anyone into athletics at all? Yeah? Michael Johnson, 4 times Olympic medalist. Yeah? He got it all in one day at the Olympics. He got 2 gold medals, and there was the 200, wasn't it, and the 400 as well. So, what a haul. But he says, pressure is nothing more than a shadow of great opportunity. I'm going to have to round through these. Pressure, spot the sides. It comes in 2 sort of guys. It's really got the mental side, which is all the apprehension, the excitement, the doubt, and the physical side, which is what I had some butterflies earlier on. Heart rate, I can feel that pumping out my chest. Nausea, muscle tension, yeah, my legs were crossed, and I'm doing, oh, come on, I'll get up in a minute. Well, that's me trying to psych myself up, and nerves. If you're going to cope, or a way of coping with it, I broke it down. You've got sort of 4 pillars. It's keeping your head under stress, and this is something I still have to work hard towards trying to achieve. There are moments that are stressful, but how do you cope with it? Do you blow your gasket? Don't analyse it too well? Yeah? Or do you sit back and think, well, okay, let's be analytical about this. Why is it going to be stressful? How can I cope with it? How can I deal with it and make it better? It's going to be seconds now, isn't it? Self-belief. Believe in yourself. Believe that you can and you will. Pull some positive thoughts in, and that will help you to develop it. motivation. And this is what I talked about earlier on. You know, what I was trying to get to with yourself was it's got to be something that you're doing for yourself. You have a goal set for yourself. And what you don't want to be doing is doing everyone else's goal, what everyone else's expectations are. You want to do it for you. Because at the end of the day, you make yourself happy, everyone else in your circle will be happy as well. But if your eternal quest is making, I can do that for my mum and my dad, I can do that for my friends, but what about yourself? Yeah, get yourself sorted, and then everyone else around you, they'll be on point. Focus on things that matter. There's a lot of noise and all that. You haven't pulled it out. Is that okay? Oh, it's time out. Did you do time out? Oh, I missed that one. Sorry. Focus on things that are important. Don't let it distract from all, what your goal is. There's a lot of noise and a lot of people saying this, that, and the other. But remember what's important. Keep that, and that should hopefully get you there. Yeah!